Germany, it's time to wake up!
Deutschland, es ist Zeit aufzuwachen.
Wake up!
Wach auf!
Time to wake up!
Es ist Zeit
It's
aufzuwachen.
time to fight for the soul of your nation!
Es ist Zeit für die Seele eurer Nation zu kämpfen.
Seid also wachsam, denn ihr wisst nicht die Stunde, wann euer Herr wiederkommt.
Stoffwechsel.
Stoffwechsel, Street Children, Youth Projects, Sabine Ball. Synonyms that you don't even have to explain. Sabine, thank you.
Ich habe eine Berufung, im Moment ist die in Dresden und mit der Jugend vor allen Dingen. Aber
No, I am 80 years old, but my heart is still young. I have visions for our youth, which I hope someday will be realized. Yes, my body is old. I am 80 years old. I am an antique. Dresden, as you can see, is again a very beautiful city. But on the 13th of February 1945, at the end of the war, Dresden was almost totally destroyed by the Allies. I happened to be in the city at the time. It is hard to imagine that so many lives had to die a horrible death.
In the greatest blitz on Germany, British bombers head for Dresden, the Saxony bastion of the Nazis along the Eastern Front.
Wir wollen nicht sein eine Vertretung eines Berufs, einer Klasse, eines Standes, einer Konfession oder eines Landes, sondern wir wollen den Deutschen so weit erziehen, dass vor allem alle begreifen müssen, dass es kein Leben gibt ohne Recht und dass es kein Recht gibt ohne Macht und dass es keine Macht gibt ohne Kraft. Und dass jede Kraft im eigenen Volk sitzen muss. Wir haben ein Ziel uns gewählt und was Besseres vernarrt, es rollt los dieses Grab hinein.
Wollen wir ihn, wenn nötig, totaler und radikaler, als wir ihn uns heute überhaupt erst vorstellen können.
And the city was almost wiped out within a couple of hours. I had escaped from the Russians, leaving my homeland, East Prussia, in 1945. I immigrated to the United States, where I lived for over 40 years, but then returned to Dresden in 1993 because of following God's calling. Together with a team of young Christians in many different churches, we presented a meeting place for children, teenagers, to bring especially the good news to them, but also by living these.
These were pictures from the beautiful side of Dresden. But there is another side, a side with people in need, both material and spiritual need.
Da hatte ich noch eine Freundin und die hat mir alles weggesoffen.
Here sits a homeless man in the old city and shares about his life. We also want to tell people like this about the love of God and how the living God can change their lives.
Damit ich Geld habe.
Here Stefan tells about how Jesus changed his life. He asked Sabine Ball of how he could get out of this devilish circle of drug and alcohol addiction. Sabine prayed for him, and in an instant his addiction was gone. For 10 years now, he has been free from addiction and serves God by helping Sabine in her ministry. One example of many how Jesus has changed lives here in Dresden. We believe he wants to do much more. Now some images and impressions from the historic old city of Dresden. Dresden has always had a reputation for being a culture center, a place of fine arts, as well as a center for handiworks and a technological center. At the end of the Second World War, Dresden was heavily bombed, and the old part of the city was completely destroyed. Dresden today is a revived city with people who never gave up. Hope to the end. Yes, I would describe the people of Dresden as a hopeful people. Then and today. When I walk through the old city, I can almost smell the history. For me, it seems as though it's long ago when leaders and kings strolled along great buildings. The great architecture, especially the Baroque style of the old city, is well known all over the world. Now I would like to show you some pictures from a miracle here in Dresden, the reconstruction of the famous Frauenkirche, the Church of the Lady. The reconstruction of the Frauenkirche was finished on October the 30th, 2005. For decades, it was a ruin. Standing there is a memorial for the horrible night of bombing on February the 13th, 1945. Unforgettably, it stays in my mind, a moment when I put down a candle on a hill of debris after a memorial service. I never thought I would see this house of God in all its glory again. It touches me deeply, and I know that this is more than a feeling, because I know that the rebuilding of the Frauenkirche brings a message to the world. A message of reconciliation between nations, reconciliation between God and man. It should be a place filled with God's Spirit and Word, where music rings to God's glory. In this house of God, people should meet the living God. I could tell many other stories of the people in Dresden. Different people, different stories. The last thing for me to say is I wish peace for the 800th birthday of Dresden. And for the people of Dresden, I wish them all an encounter with the living God.
Hello there, my name's Matthew Cooper, this is Chris, my brother. We're in Germany here for the football, supporting England all the way. And also good luck to Germany against Portugal.
We have been in Dresden for 2 days now. Dresden is a very nice city, a city changing drastically, one seems. And happy birthday to Dresden.
Happy birthday. Fröhliche Geburtstag.
Was würde ich mir wünschen? Oh, das ist eine schwierige Frage.
No, what would I wish for my life? Oh, that's a difficult question. Well, I believe a people's heart would be open to God. Yes, it would bring a change, not only into Dresden and Germany, in fact, into the whole world. Yes, we would live like our hearts were originally created for. then God could not withhold his blessings. We would experience freedom, love, and peace.
Und die Art und Weise, wie ihre Haare aussehen, so sehe ich aus, wenn ich morgens aufstehe.
And I would have thought, no way!
Und ich hätte gedacht, niemals.
But you know what? I was the one missing out.
Aber wisst ihr, ich habe alles verpasst.
Because I finally turned off my religious brain long enough.
Endlich hatte ich meinen religiösen Verstand lang genug ausgemacht.
To sense where the anointing was.
Zu spüren, wo die Salbung war.
You know, here's a revelation for you.
Und jetzt kommt eine Offenbarung für dich.
If the horse has been dead 10 years, it's time to dismount.
Wenn das Pferd 10 Jahre lang tot ist, dann ist es Zeit, vom Pferd zu steigen.
Stop trying to make something work that God got finished with in 1950.
Hör auf, mit etwas zu arbeiten, mit dem Gott aufgehört hat, 1950 zu arbeiten.
It's not about you.
Es geht nicht um dich.
Now our meetings are full of young kids.
Jetzt sind unsere Versammlungen voll mit jungen Leuten.
And middle-aged people. Get in, get out, or get run over, but God's on the move.
Geh hinein, gehe weiter, denn Gott bewegt sich.
Religion gives people 10 new rules to follow.
Und Religion gibt Menschen immer wieder Regeln, denen sie folgen müssen.
But we had a younger generation that was just standing around going to hell if we don't minister to them.
Aber wir haben eine junge Generation, die wird in die Hölle gehen, wenn wir ihnen nicht dienen werden.
And I want you to know, you can return to me.
See, I've learned in my life.
Und ich habe gelernt in meinem Leben,
that I'm free to be me.
Ich bin frei, ich darf ich sein.
Halleluja!
Halleluja!
Jesus died to set us free.
Jesus starb, hat uns freigesetzt.
Make room for some life.
Denn die brauchen Leben.
It's time for the Church of Jesus Christ to come alive.
Es ist Zeit, dass die Gemeinde Jesu lebendig ist.
Amen.
Amen.
Stand, you're still my son. And I want you to know.
Those are German people.
Also bitte, das waren alles Deutsche, ja?
I'm still Jewish.
Ich bin immer noch Jude.
The thing is,
aber die Sache ist,
that the Lord brought us one.
Dass der Herr uns zusammengefügt hat als eins.
Jew and Gentile.
Juden und Heiden.
There is no such thing.
Und es gibt sowas nicht.
The only difference is,
der einzige Unterschied ist,
either you belong to God,
entweder gehörst du Gott,
or you belong to the devil.
Oder du gehörst dem Teufel.
That is the only difference.
Das ist der einzige Unterschied.
If you belong to God,
wenn du
then
Gott
do
gehörst,
what He says.
Dann tu, was er dir sagt.
I've given these warnings all over the world.
Ich habe diese Warnungen in der ganzen Welt gegeben.
I want to say to you, it's nothing to be afraid of.
Und ich möchte euch sagen, es ist nichts, wovor ihr euch fürchten braucht.
But it should put the fear of the Lord upon you.
Aber es sollte die Furcht des Herrn auf euch bringen.
You are called for such a time as this.
Ihr seid berufen für diese Zeit.